Bienvenue sur Paris 13 Lab, le média dédié à la culture urbaine asiatique. Dans cette nouvelle série de reportages, on vous amène au Danemark pour vous présenter les acteurs de la culture asiatique à Copenhague. Au cours des 7 épisodes, vous ferez la rencontre de restaurateurs, stylistes, entrepreneurs ou encore DJ qui excellent dans leur domaine. Qu'ils soient originaires d'Asie ou du Danemark, chacun d'eux contribue à faire vivre la culture asiatique dans la capitale danoise. Ils suivent des parcours passionnants, parsemés d'histoires formidables que vous allez découvrir dès maintenant. Pour ce premier épisode, on vous propose de faire la connaissance d'Alfie et Carmelita, les entrepreneurs à l'origine du restaurant Trilla in Manila.
Trilla in Manila started because we wanted to find a name for our brand, and so we were like watching a movie called the Muhammad Ali, you know.
The Thriller in Manila.
And then he was fighting, and it was in Manila, so it was Trilla in Manila. It was like, that's it, like that's the Trilla in Manila. I like old school music. I like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, Notorious B.I.G. I heard like Notorious B.I.G. rapping that he used to eat sardines for dinner, and then from him I feel, and then he said
To the Thriller in Manila.
I'm like, that's it, man. It's so catchy, and we took it under our wing, and then we were like, that Trilla in Manila is born.
Yes, hi, my name is Carmelita, and I'm behind the marketing here at Trilla in Manila.
Alfie Escabarte, the chef and founder, together with my wife. We run Trilla in Manila.
Yeah, I work within IT and admin, finance. That's my studies. So I'm not really in the restaurant business. I mean, I've been waitressing while studying, but that's about it. I like to eat though. That's my thing. So when he cooks, I eat. So that's why I'm more in the background, handling the marketing, our social medias, the finances, admin, and handling the kids.
I started when I was 14 years old as a dishwasher in a cafe near here, and suddenly there was a chef who did not came to work, so the head chef called me in, where I was very nervous, but like he guided me through all the stuff, and then he's like, I think you have something like for it, because the smell, the atmosphere, and the smoke, the kitchen, and the rush, it was like just me, you know, and I like to challenge myself. So after that, I'll just continue working in a different restaurant, and I took the education, that's the hotel and restaurant school here.
We first met, I was 23, we were in our 20s, and when we first met, we actually met in a bar, and we were out with our mutual friends. He was with his friends and I was with mine, but we have friends that knows each other, so that's how we met. But actually already on that day, he started talking about how he wanted to have his own restaurant, and that he was a chef. He was very passionate about his food, and I was telling him like, yeah, but why don't you do it? Like, just do it. But yeah, like I told him, like if you really want it, then it's gonna happen, because the only one stopping you is you know. So you have to go for it. But after that, we didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that we were actually gonna date after that. So that's what happened. From my perspective, that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know how you saw it. You don't remember?
I don't really
No,
remember.
he was very drunk.
Hey, cut. No, don't say that.
Alfie.
Escobar.
Awesome. I'm hanging out with Alfie in the kitchen.
Finally,
Thrilla
I
in
meet
Manila.
this guy, Thrilla
Thank
in
you so
Manila.
much for having us.
We opened Thrilla in Manila 2018 with our first food trailer in Herfen Copenhagen Street Food. And yeah, we decided to open it because we wanted to present the Filipino cuisine. There was no one presenting Philippines in Denmark. So that's what we wanted to do.
In Philippines, everybody's a chef, you know, everybody's a cook. You have always have one member in the family who's very good at cooking. And my experience is my mom. She liked to cook and experiment with some cuisine, and sometimes it tastes good, sometimes it's like, what is this? But yeah, it's for my family, I get the inspirations from mom and cousins and uncles and Lolo and Lolas. Basically, here in Denmark, we are all the things we make from the book from the beginning is all in French. So it's a lot of it is French cooking, the technique also, and then further away, I became interesting on izakaya and sushi, and then I start working with that. I apply for a restaurant, then they hire me right away, and then after I was there for like 10 years in sushi. So I wanted to try to sail in a boat where I cook also, but the wave, you know, it's ooh la la, it's too much. So you're cooking like when it's a big wave, like 20 meters. So it was a challenge also, but like then we got a little angel, and then I just had to stop because my wife said no more.
No more sea.
No more Popeye. I had like idea, so bring the modern Nordic style into it and twist it with some Japanese, and then basically my own technique coming in, and using the Southeast Asian what you call these herbs and spices, and it's good.
And then we opened the restaurant here.
January 22, and it was a very excited moment for a short moment. January 22, we have a lot of local people who really excited to taste Filipino cuisine, and they really loved it. We got like 5-star on the local news here, and after that it just went uphill, and
and then
good.
Corona hit.
Det endnu et pressemøde her i Statsministeriet. Det jeg vil sige i aften, det kommer til at få store konsekvenser for alle danskere. Der vil komme svære situationer nu for rigtig mange borgere, og der bliver brug for, at vi hjælper hinanden.
It was a Wednesday when our Prime Minister announced it, it was going to be a lockdown on Monday, so all our reservation and bookings and events, it was just like cancelled. And then I saw my neighbor, he have a lot of toilet paper. I'm like, what's happening? And then he's like, it's gonna close down. I'm like, okay. And then first 2 days after, I realized this is a pandemic. This is like worldwide and it's serious. And then I start crying. I could not help it, but because I feel like I made like so much, and I give my sweat and blood into this, and suddenly I have to close. Then I have to go out and cry. I didn't want to show my staff. Then I just start crying in the back, and then like 30 minutes after I come back, and they were like waiting for the customer to come, but I know that they're not coming because they're canceled. So I decided to make a party. So I'm like, boys, you make this, you do cocktail, you make salad, and you just put music on, and you're the DJ. And they're like, are you crazy? Or like, let's just do it, let's just have fun. And then we just continue there, and then we ate good food, and we come up with some crazy idea. But like, and this one guy is like, we should come up with good vibes again, because that's what we're good at. Like, we can deliver to like 1 hour away from here, but as long as the order. And reality hit us the next week, like Monday, and then there was like a lot of food, and we were like, and the guys like, we have to throw all this out. Like, don't throw out, start cooking, and then call people like who need it most, hospital, what was it, also elder people, and then we get some people who wants our food, and then we deliver to the hospital. And then next week, then we are in the newspaper, and we were like, but that's just because we don't want to throw out, we want to give out instead. So yeah, God bless us with something else, like we get known for that. And then after that, it was just busy. And then it was only because no customer can come in, so we had the whole restaurant just to make takeaway. So we start dancing and, you know, making fun and like making good food, and it was the good vibe. And then yeah, from that day it was just a lot of takeaway.
Muli na naman pumatok sa panlasa ng international community ang Pinoy Street Foods with a Twist ni Chef Alfie Escabarte at binigyan ng People's Choice Award. Sinerve ito sa Pinoy Food Tent Thrilla in Manila sa katatapos na European Street Food Awards finale sa Malmö, Sweden.
We were in the European Street Food Awards, and when they announced that we were the People's Choice Award winner, I cried. I actually cried, and I was like there alone because they were still selling while they were announcing, so he didn't even come out. So I was like standing there taking the prize, crying like
Thank you to all of you people who came and loved our food, and it was just wow. Thank you, Hanna, Idiata, Midlen,
Thank you. I didn't know what to say, like, because it was so heartfelt for me. Like, we were just it's just me and Alfie taking the Thrilla in Manila, and we were just a small like food trailer, and who would have known that people would actually like vote for us. So even the one arranging the event was super happy for us. They were like super happy. They were like, yeah, we didn't want anyone else to win. Like, they were really rooting for us, you know. For me, when I came to Sweden, I was 5. It was not so many. I mean, I didn't know any Filipinos when I started in class. I think it was only me and 2 more who was foreigners at that time. So of course it's a lot for you as a child to come to a new world. There's like new faces, you have no idea, like the language barrier is also I also grew up with a Swedish stepdad, so yeah, for me it was already like a lot of mix at home.
Potato and rice.
Yeah, I grew up with Swedish food, and then my mom would make like Filipino food. So that's how I kept my roots. Was my mom would speak Tagalog to me, but of course, as a child, when you start speaking another language, you tend to like me. I always answer my mom in Swedish, so I understand everything in Tagalog, but I will have a barrier to like speak it fluently. When I'm in Philippines, they will like tell me like, oh, you're not from here. Like they can hear in my accent or like how I speak that I didn't grow up there. But for me, when I'm here, I'm like, no, I'm Filipino. Like I have my roots. But of course, you notice a difference of a mindset when you've been growing up here compared to the ones that's been growing up in the Philippines. So yeah, I mean, I've been very integrated in my family, I think.
For me, it was like I came here when I was 5 years old, so I remember everything like it was yesterday. It was like coming from a lot of people, you know, all your neighbors, and then coming here, and then there's no so much people, and there's no the trees. It was January, so the trees did not have leaves. So I was like, where is this? And it was cold, and it was like a shock for me, like because I didn't have friends and all that stuff. But later of the road, my mom always like told me a lot of like to how to handle the situation here in Denmark and not to be, you know, scared about the things and how to like speak Danish and all this stuff. So I went to school here, but we always every year goes to the Philippines, and that's the like excitement about it when you're coming back to your motherland, where it's like the smell, the you know, the I don't know, it's like it's something else when you come there when you are small, and then you get older and then you go to Philippines. It's different because you're not like typically Filipino. You don't really know the culture that good because you grew up here, so you feel like you're foreigner in your own country. So when you go back here, you're also like a foreigner in your own country. So there was no like both sides. You don't really know, but still you feel more comfortable because you know how they are, and you know they always welcome you. And it was different, like when you go back again as a father and you have your daughter with you, and you want to show them where your root come from, and it's very special that they understand. I didn't want to put somebody who just make the design, like, you know. I wanted to be my own touch. I wanted to where I want to put the light, I wanted to be my own image, like my own, you know. You build it yourself and you paint it yourself. Plus, it was much cheaper to to make it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself, and plus I have a lot of friends who's making a lot of furnitures and like helping me design and just different ideas and bring it up to this restaurant, because that's us, you know. That's not, you can't just buy these other places, but you made it your own, so you know every screw and every painting and every hole in this restaurant is like, you know, all the spots and where, like, it's have to be something different because you present something else, you know. And that's what we did, like design the place for our own.
Yeah, it's like imperfectly perfect. It's like it has flaws, but all together it's like it just seems right. Like you just feel home when you come in.
Yeah, I don't want it to be too perfect. I don't want it to be much like bright, and I want it to be all you know, there's a paint. It's not so perfect, but you know, it's us. It's Thrilla and Manila. It's Filipino style. That's what we do, and I think
Like
that's
we do one thing, then we go take a nap. Like, okay, we worked enough. Let's take a nap.
yeah, under the coconut tree.
Yeah. Like having a business together. Yeah, I mean, it's both fun and of course it's also hard because we see each other at home, we see each other here. So it's like, what do we talk about? We talk about the restaurant, how to improve. So everything's like everything becomes like business and into our family situation. So sometimes we have to learn to like, okay, part the life, like, okay, now we're like only focusing on our family and just being together, and then afterwards we can like do the business stuff, right? But of course it's important to support each other and yeah,
Understand
I mean,
the you know, there's some limits, and of course there's no, you don't have, I mean, like, you don't hide anything for your partner. And for me it was some things like when the corona hit us, it was like devastating. It was like I was depressed, I was like giving up on everything, and because like you went from the top and then suddenly the next day it's like boom, hits you. But the important thing is that your partner is like building you up again, you know, so you get the strength, and plus you have the family who's behind you, who support you, and I feel like that's the most important topic on becoming to have a restaurant, because if nobody understands your way of like creating, then it's hard to explain, and she was there all the way, and yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm so blessed to have
of course we get our strength from the Lord. So I think like because we were like hit like in the beginning, we opened a restaurant this year, and of course we are not rich by ourselves. I mean, like, we worked very hard to just be able to open this restaurant. So we put our life into it, right? And I mean, having 2 small children, like, this is what we want to do for their future. So of course we became like really like, it wasn't a knockout, but we got hit, you know. So we just had to decide, like, do we just fall down and die, or do we get up again? I mean, like, do we fight? Like, is there like, we can't just fold now, because, or else it's like waste of money and time, and I mean, it's not like we can afford to just throw money up in the air, you know. Fail. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
We have a dish called TikTok manok, and it's like marinated in lemongrass, lime, and calamansi, and we were like, it looks like, because my daughter was dancing TikTok, like TikTok manok, and then we have like, we want to come up with a menu where it's something else, you know, and so
yeah, which is mixed with like Filipino names, but also with fun, like comedy, like it will like, oh,
catchy.
Like I know TikTok, but what is manok?
Also, our president, like Duterte, it's a very, very strong chili and mixed with a lot of herbs, and it goes well. And then I tried to create a dish called. I wanted to, because this, COVID-19. Then we have like corned beef 19, and we have like braised short ribs. We braise it for 6 hours and have a lot of taste into it. And then I have some corn, we grill corn with herb butter, and I serve it to one of my friends. He's a chef, and I ask him, and he's like, "This is very good." I'm like, "Yeah," and the name for it is corned beef 19. Like, what? But it sounds too much like COVID-19. Like, that's the whole idea, like corned beef, but you can't miss it because it's corn and there's beef, corned beef, and then the number for it is 19, so corned beef number 19. And he was like, no, it's too much. I'm like, all right. Then I took it back because I didn't want to step anybody's toes and maybe it's too much. And I'm like, okay, so what can we do about, like, okay, we just stay with our simple menu right now, and then when it comes to really cold, we're gonna have some heavy dishes, but Filipino inspired also. For me, I mean, like, I would like to extend Trilla in Manila, like in different places in the globe, like definitely want one in the motherland, like in Manila, the Trilla in Manila, like, and like, it could be so cool to have a restaurant there also, because like it's from there, and then maybe one in Paris and in London, and that's like the biggest dream of all. I mean, like, and also for me in the beginning it was all about a dream, and that dream also want to help people and children in the Philippines, and I started like a small donation where I put like 1,000 every month and just send it to a pastor in Cebu, and then he take care of the street, the children, the vendors, and and next year the goal is not to the stomach but to the, so maybe they have read and writing, and we can make a difference, like plant a seed. When you plant the seed, and then
we
you have
always
to
try to, I mean, even though this year wasn't the best for us, but if we can help, then we do. So we try to do some like donation every year to that pastor who does the help of the street kids in Cebu.
You have to trust yourself, and you have to trust God, and believe in yourself in the future. Like, if you want to do something, everything is possible, and as long as you put your heart and your your heart and your passion into it. So there's nothing like, there's no limit about it. So for them who wants to make business or making something out of themselves, like, don't just stay there, but do something about it. You can do it. Shout out to my mom. Thank you for the soup.
And shout out to Paris 13 for doing this video. Thank you so much.
We have to say it together.
Okay. Cut.
Like, shout out to
Paris 13. Thank you for coming to Copenhagen and visiting us. I hope you like the food.
Yeah, have a try, don't be shy.
Cet épisode touche à sa fin. On se retrouve très vite pour un nouvel épisode sur la chaîne YouTube Paris 13 Lab.